van.
Yeah,
We're live. Motorcycle.
wow.
A lot of fun. Folks, welcome to our committee meeting for Monday, April 15th. Start off with a special public safety committee.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Special Public Safety Committee meeting to order at 6:01. Tonight we have a guest speaker, Peter Kehoe from the New York State Sheriff's Association, presenting the accreditation for the Greene County Jail.
And he's also got Craig DeMond, the president of the New York State's Sheriff's Association.
All righty. Good evening. How are you gentlemen doing?
How are you? Great. Very good.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for this opportunity. First, I think before I start, I'd like to just take a moment to express our distress about another senseless tragedy which occurred last night in Syracuse that killed one of our deputy sheriffs and police officer. So this nonsense continues, and it's a result of the disrespect for law enforcement, which has been spread throughout our country really because of a lot of misinformation, and this kind of thing will continue to happen. So I want to thank you folks for your support for law enforcement. It's a terrible thing. So I'm here tonight on behalf of all the sheriffs in New York State, along with our president of the Sheriff's Association, Sheriff DeMond, who traveled up here from Delaware County to be with us. And we're here on behalf of all the sheriffs to recognize and honor Sheriff Kosminski in the Greene County Sheriff's Office on the occasion of accreditation of the Sheriff's Corrections Division. So less than half the jails in the state have been able to achieve accreditation. So obviously this is no easy accomplishment. And this accreditation comes on top of accreditation of the Law Enforcement Division, which your sheriff also has and maintains from the New York State Law Enforcement Agency Accreditation Council. So this occasion, I hope, will serve to remind you of something that I'm sure you already know, and that is that you have an outstanding sheriff here in Greene County and an outstanding sheriff's office that are in pursuit of excellence in their operations, as clearly demonstrated by this accreditation tonight. So I want to congratulate Sheriff Kosminski, Under Sheriff Brainerd, Superintendent Overbaugh, and all of those who work in the Corrections Division and the entire Sheriff's Office for this achievement, which we're honoring this evening. I think it's a particularly appropriate time for us to be doing this too, because just in a couple more weeks, we're going to be observing National Correctional Officers Week, where the whole country is encouraged to pause for a moment, recognize the importance and the difficulty of the work that that's performed by correctional officers, who are generally the unsung heroes of our law enforcement system, to my mind anyways. They spend a large part of their lives locked up behind bars with some of the worst people in our society. They keep us safe from those people, and they must keep those people safe from each other. And they must always be mindful that some of the people in their charge are actually innocent. And they must also always be mindful that both the guilty and the innocent are entitled to humane, respectful treatment. This is a tough, unenviable job that we ask these good public servants to perform, and we owe them our gratitude, I think, for their willingness to do it and to do it right. And obviously here in Greene County, they do it right, as evidenced by this accreditation tonight. So this is, I think, the first time I've been here in many years, so I'm just going to go a little bit into accreditation. Most people, I think, are generally familiar with the concept of accreditation. They see it in schools and colleges and all that. But one still might reasonably ask you, why bother? Why does a jail bother with accreditation? How does it benefit me as a citizen of Greene County? Well, it's not just for another plaque to hang on the wall, and sheriff's got plenty of those. Doesn't need more of those, but it has many positive effects. You know that it improves the operations and performance of the sheriff's office. It increases the morale in the office. Employees know that measured by some objective standard, they're doing an excellent job and that someone is actually taking the time to recognize them for that. It also tends to reduce the incidence of lawsuits and liability, so I'm sure that's something of great interest to you as legislators. But most importantly, I think it improves the services to the public. It tends to increase the public's confidence in their public institutions. And that is why the Sheriff's Association devotes so much of its time and its resources to our various accreditation programs. I'd also like to say a few words about accreditation in the field of corrections specifically. It's not something that's available just for the asking. To achieve accreditation requires that the jail meets a very stringent set of standards developed by experts in the field of corrections. These standards currently have 166 individual components, and the jail must submit itself to scrutiny by an outside board of assessors, which reviews the agency's operations in detail to ascertain whether or not the jail meets those many demanding standards. And I'm happy to report that the Board of Assessors, which reviewed the operations of your Greene County Jail, report to me that it meets or exceeds every one of those standards. So congratulations again are in order for Sheriff Kosminski and the men and women of the Greene County Sheriff's Correctional Division and all the men and women of the Greene County Sheriff's Office for this significant accomplishment. But I also want to give congratulations to the Greene County Legislature and to the citizens of Greene County. For without your financial support and without your moral support, this achievement and all the important services provided by your sheriff to all the citizens of your county and those of us who visit your county would not be possible. So accreditation does not just happen. It takes a lot of hard work by a lot of people. And the entire staff of the Sheriff's Correctional Division deserve to be recognized and applauded for this achievement tonight. I particularly want to recognize a few individuals who devoted a great deal of extra time and effort to the many administrative and operational details required in order to demonstrate and to document that your county is most deserving of this recognition. So I'd like to have Superintendent Michael Overbach come forward. Superintendent. A couple others come up also. Lieutenant Rubino and Correction Officer Scully. Superintendent, congratulations to you. Great job. Thank you. Lieutenant Dan Rubino, thank you too for your good work. And Correction Officer and Accreditation Officer Scully. Congratulations. Thank you. We'll get some photos.
We're gonna get one here. Camera.
Great, thank you.
Great job.
And congratulations to all the partners in this significant achievement, Sheriff, Under Sheriff, all the men and women of the Corrections Division and the County Legislature and the citizens of Greene County. And I want to thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for affording me this opportunity to highlight for you all the good work that's being done by the sheriff. So thank you very much. And I'm going to ask now our President, Sheriff Dumont, to say a few words and to present the accreditation plaque to the sheriff. Sheriff, thank you.
Peter. Thank you, Peter. I'll be brief. I just want to echo a couple of things that Peter said. Number one, it's great to be in Greene County. Greene County is a lot like Delaware, where you're law enforcement friendly and you support your police. And for that, we are grateful. As Peter mentioned, the travesty that happened in Onondaga today is just mind boggling. It really, really is. So sad and so senseless, you know, and it only makes me wonder, you know, with the police killings we've had so far in just the first quarter of this year, when is our state legislature going to step up and start making some changes to things to start protecting our police officers? I guess if there were parolees or, you know, squatters in buildings, we would see some more protection if the police decided to take on those roles, but we're not. But I'm digressing, right? So I just want to congratulate the sheriff, the undersheriff, the entire Greene County Sheriff's Office. I know I've become good, close friends with Sheriff Kosminski. And I have to say that he is grateful for the legislature's support here. We've talked about it a number of times. I'm telling you, that's really, really key and crucial. As Peter mentioned, the Corrections Division in any sheriff's office are the unsung heroes of the sheriff's office. They're the ones that are up there. Well, I say up on a hill because that's where mine is, but I know Peter's is more in a valley, but they're in that facility 24 hours a day behind locked doors and walls. And no one really gets a chance to see or appreciate the work that they do. And this ceremony today gives just a brief glimpse into the hard work and effort that goes into maintaining a professional sheriff's office. And as president of the New York State Sheriff's Association, I'm very, very grateful for that professionalism because that reflects greatly on all of us across the state. So thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Undersheriff. And thank you for the leadership running your jail. Sheriff, if you'd like to come up. I'd like to present you with this plaque today, which my good friend in recognition and its adherence to the best practices and highly professional standards established by the New York State Sheriff's Association. The Jail Division of the Greene County Sheriff's Office is hereby awarded this certificate of accreditation for the period April 15th, 24 through April 14th, 29. Special recognition is given to the Greene County Sheriff Peter Kosminski and the men and women of his office for the dedication and the pursuit of excellence and service to the people of Greene County, New York. Congratulations.
The plaque, perfect, thank you.
Want to say a few words, Sheriff?
Thank you.
You thought you were gonna get away with it.
All right, I didn't prepare anything, but I do have to thank the superintendent, Lieutenant Rubino and Officer Scully, especially Officer Scully. He worked extremely hard for this. We're shorthanded in the jail. Usually this takes quite a lengthy period of time to do, but he did it and he managed to do it without causing any disruption in our services. So thank you all. It's you guys did a great job and I appreciate it. And I'm sure all the legislature does as well. Hopefully we'll continue with the next step with the civil division. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's not on the agenda, but Mr. Alan Frisbee from probation asked to express a few concerns and bring it to us. So Alan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Hobart, and the rest of the members of the legislature. Been a little while since I've been here. I just had some numbers I wanted to run past you and then discuss a few things. I did the numbers run a couple of weeks ago, so they may have changed a little bit since then. As of that time, a couple of weeks ago, we had 21 open pre-trial cases, so they weren't under standard probation supervision. Of that 21, there were 16 felonies and 5 misdemeanors. 7 active GPS global positioning system bracelets. 4 were deemed to be high risk, which meant that there's a potential of further victimization, such as an order of protection or the particular crime that may have been involved. 3 that were low risk, so that may have been more the lines of a DWI or something like that. And unfortunately, there's 1 bracelet that's in a pond in Columbia County after it had been cut off and thrown there by one of the offenders. And I believe that the Sheriff's Department at some point may have some dive team practice in conjunction with Columbia County Sheriff and retrieve that bracelet. There are 2 active, at that time, transdermal alcohol detection bracelets. During the first quarter of 2024, for the GPS program, which also includes on-call activities by assigned officers. There were 14 cases that were opened and the officers received 571 alerts. Now, Those alerts could mean the batteries are low, they need to recharge those, and things along that line, and they could be going off around the clock. 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody's getting an alert, they gotta respond to it. Or if the alert is that the person is in an area where they're not supposed to be, then immediate action will be taken to make sure that something gets done. As far as the standard probation supervision, 231 adult probationers, of which 115 were felony cases, and 116 misdemeanors, 16 juveniles, 4 juvenile delinquency intakes, 5 in a pre-adjudicatory supervision, which means that they have not, they've gone to family court, but they've not been adjudicated by the court, but are under some form of probation supervision. 6 juvenile delinquents and 1 PINS, person in need of supervision under actual formal family court supervision. So that's the numbers. Here's some other numbers. We have 10 sworn staff in our department. By the end of the year, 3 of us will be at least 60 and 4 at least 50 and no one under 44. So I may be the only literal graybeard in the department, but certainly figuratively, we're getting there. I don't know how much longer some of us are going to be involved with the department. The actions that are involved anymore are becoming more intense. New officers that come on, they'll have to go at least 40 hours of defensive tactics in their peace officer course training. Quite frankly, it's not a young person's profession. So we'll be looking in the future for there to be some changes in there. In recent problems, December 2023, there was a home contact made in conjunction with the state police to a convicted felony probationer who was on for criminal contempt. The person was under the influence of alcohol. He was brought outside, his vehicle was checked. A rifle was found in the trunk. The trooper goes to arrest him. The defender runs off with a drug test swab still in his mouth. The trooper chases him, the trooper breaks his ankle in pursuit. The defendant surrenders hours later, released on his own recognizance, only on the weapons charge at the time. Charges were later upgraded to include an assault for the police officer. And then just recently, he received probation term for that offense and for the probation violation. In March, we had another case in which there was an active probation violation warrant. This particular individual had been a felony person under interim probation supervision, ultimately got their conviction reduced to a misdemeanor. The person had absconded from supervision. We received word from the town of Saugerties Police that the person was holed up in a residence there. So 2 of our officers and 3 Saugerties officers went to the residence, knocked on the door and tried to get the person to come out. They wouldn't come out voluntarily. The door was open. The person rushed out, had to be taken down by the officers who were there. The sheriff has seen the video. He was able to acquire the video so that I could see it. I think it's safe to say it was a mad scene, person yelling and screaming and carrying on. But the bigger part of all of it was that during this melee, one of my officers was kicked in the forearm. Was thought that it was a fractured arm. Fortunately, it was and I say just, and some liberality there, a bad bruise. But the person was out of work for several days. They had to use their own leave time. So we are not in the probation field protected under the general municipal law section 207C, like police officers and corrections are. The only probation department in the state that is covered under that is Nassau County. I don't know how they got it. I reached out to the probation director there, and it was something that occurred before he took over. So I'm not terribly familiar with all of the aspects of the law and what the qualifications may be. And it is a state law, so it's not something that can easily address at the local level and alter. But I'm going to seek out through the state probation administration, state probation administrators, and I'm the president of the state association, to see what we can do to possibly advance those sort of laws for the probation sphere. Some probation departments have a 25-year retirement set up that does not exist here. That may be something else that needed exploring. Again, we have an aging department, and the physical requirements are going to be more and more, and it's going to be tougher and tougher to take on those sort of responsibilities at 50, 60 years old. So these may be things that I may come back to you to look for support. Things that maybe that can be changed, and probation officers will have those sort of coverages also.
Thank you. Thank you.
In regard to jail, I mean, we've come a long way in 6 years. A long way. Remember the previous two chairmen before me that had to go to meetings with the Commission on Corrections. Because of deficiencies at the old jail. And a lot of them were just, it wasn't possible to meet what they wanted to be in that building. So we've come a long way with that new jail, and certainly I know Alan worked his tail off when that building up, trying to get all the requirements into the policies. So well done. Very appreciative of that.
I think we should stand up and give an ovation on that. That's it.
Really had a trailer.
That's it. Is there anything else to come before this Public Safety Committee meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have Handel and Boomer. We are adjourned.
Something you said.
You ready? I'd like to open Economic Development and Tourism Committee at 6:23. We have one proposed agenda item. That is authorizing agreement and grant application for Big Valley Trailbreakers Snowmobile Club, snowmobile trail development and maintenance for 2024-25.
I'll make that motion.
Harry?
Torrington.
Torrington,
I'll
Jim.
second it.
And Harry seconds. All in favor? Opposed? That's passed. Anything else to come before Economic Development and Tourism?
Yes, Linda, Warren, what's going on with Stewart's here in Catskill at the 21 exit?
They still have some infrastructure to hook up. Central Hudson, and then they need to pave the
They
site.
need to pave?
We anticipate that they would be done and turn the visitor center, the new visitor center, the old stores, over to us in July. So their schedule has shifted a little bit in terms of when they would take occupancy and open.
What about the hotels there?
Hotel has not received site plan approval yet. It was scheduled last month. It's gonna go this month.
Okay.
And I think they're dealing with last minute issues in terms of infrastructure as well. Our visitor center bid specifications went in the paper today. So those will be open May 22nd. And that's time then for us to review the bid specs or the submissions. And then stewards will remediate the tanks and the pump. And then when we receive the deed, then we would go to give the notice to proceed to the 4 primes. So it's all scheduled based on when Stewart's is gonna move in and then deed the property to us, but sometime in July.
So the main road going in that will go back to the hotel,
Yeah,
who's doing that? Not Stewart's, not the
no, the IDA.
IDA has a contract there doing that.
Yep.
Because I see them working on that part still. I mean, Stewart's has seemed to be mothballed for the last month or so,
Yeah.
for the most part.
I
Okay,
believe it was a Central Hudson connection and paving.
gotcha. Is Central Hudson on the gas side or electric?
No, electric.
Okay,
Now, going down that road will be natural gas.
Yeah.
When that project, gets let, Mullen, and they're almost done with the permitting phase of the project.
okay,
And Central Hudson knows the timing of the construction of the hotel and when that natural gas line needs to be in for them to hook up.
okay. Thanks, Warren. Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Motion to close.
Motion to close. Second, Patty. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We're closed.
Good evening. I'd like to open government operations at 6:27. We have 7 resolutions tonight, so I'll kick that right off. Number 1 is amending resolution number 279-11, adoption of Greene County Administrative Manual meal reimbursement leaves. Department heads, managers, and management confidential employees with regard to Breverment. Department heads, managers, management confidential employees with regard to the sellback of unused leave.
Over, Bob.
I'll second that. Is there all in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Number 2, amending resolution number 279-11, adoption of Greene County Administrative Manual retiree dependent spouse health insurance.
Over, Bob.
All second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Number 3, amending resolution number 27911, adoption of Greene County Administrative Manual. Travel to conferences and seminars, personal automobile reimbursement and conferences, meetings and seminars.
Overblock.
Ordinance, do I have a second?
Over, Bob.
Martinez moved it, Overblock second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Number 4, authorizing agreement, Granicus One Meeting Legislative Management Software Services.
I'm with.
I'll second that.
Greg, I just have a question on that. Have we used this before? Is this a
We're
real?
currently using software from them, are we not?
Were you Kevin or?
Yeah, so we are using software from them now, but
We've had them since 2014.
Yeah.
but we have to shift to a new system because this software that we're currently using is becoming end of life and will lose support. So they gave our team 2 different options, 2 different proposals. Tammy and her team went back to see what they us.
Thank you, Kevin.
But the provider we're happy with. So
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Greg.
What's the second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
What do you got?
Number 5, reappointing member, Civil Service Commission.
Over, Bob.
Who moved it?
They all
Lucas?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Number 6, correcting assessment roll, Town of Durham.
Lavera?
1 second. Is that one make LLC, tax map ID number 20.00-2-17.1.
Lavera?
Vera,
I'll second it.
Martinez, all in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed?
That'd be all right.
Number 7, correcting assessment roll, town of Prattsville. Zenon and Lucia Saminsky, tax map ID number 75.03-3-9. Right? Hold on. All in favor?
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Does anyone else have anything to come before government operations?
Motion to close.
Thank you.
Call a finance committee meeting to order. Have several proposed items. First is a authorized agreement, Greene, one meeting legislative management software service.
Davis.
Buellage. Get a second? Buellage seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 2, authorized agreement and grant application for Big Valley Trail Breakers Snowmobile Club, Snowmobile Trail Development and Maintenance, 24-25.
Overbaugh.
Lennon, Ms. Overball seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 3, authorized vehicle purchase, Greene County Department of Building and Grounds. I'd like to make that.
Second.
Second it? Mr. Lake? Good move. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
You woke up.
You did wake up. Number 4, authorize the implementation funding in the first instance, 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore.
Hobart.
Mr. Hobart.
Buellage.
Mr. Buellage. Mr. Davis. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 5, resolution authorizing implementation funding in the first instance, 100% of the federal aid, state Marchicelli program eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore.
Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Hobart.
Mr. Hobart seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's also carried. 6, authorizing implementation and funding of the cost of a transportation project which may be eligible for federal aid and or state aid or reimbursement from Bridge New York funds.
Hobart.
Hobart, Mr. Leonard seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Number 7, authorizing extension of contracts for consultant on the Highway and Solid Waste Department roster of professional services.
Hobart.
Buellage.
Hobart, Mr. Buick seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. Number 8, awarding the replacement of County Route 67 Jack Arch Culvert over Jan D. Bacher Kill Z167-06180 GRN Town of Greenville.
Lennon.
Davis.
Leonard,
No,
Mr.
Davis and
seconds.
Lennon. Davis got it.
All right, Mr. Davis, Mr. Lennon seconds it. I stand corrected.
It's his town.
It's
It's his town.
Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 9, authorized agreement, Greene County Department of Human Services, Aging and Hearthstone Care LLC for social audit day programs.
Overbaugh.
Buellage.
Buellage second.
Who second? Buellage seconds it.
You better clean your ears, Charlie.
I need a hearing aid, that's what I need, but I can't afford it. Just pay my federal tax. All in favor?
Federal
Takes two of us.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor.
Right on the last day, right, Charlie?
Hey.
I paid mine today.
Me too.
Others. That's carried. Authorized, number 10, authorized agreement, Greene County and Oxford House, Inc.
Davis.
Davis. Linger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
No opposition.
Don't go there.
Okay. It's carried. Number 11, approving center-based service provider contract, preschool special education program. Hobart Lake. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 12, authorize out-of-state travel, Greene County Department of Human Services agent, Terrence Coolidge, nutrition coordinator,
Hobart.
Hobart.
Lennon.
Leonard seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 13, reappointing member of Civil Service Commission,
Village.
Hobart.
Martinez,
Lennon.
Lennon. How about you, General?
Lavera.
Mr. Rivera also. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 14, accepting bid for sale of IMREN properties. I'd like to make a,
I'll second that.
all in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. 15, amending capital project number 127, OPIC settlement.
Davis.
Davis,
Finger.
Mr. Linger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 16, budget amendments, adopt DWI Governor's Traffic Safety Committee grant.
Overbaugh?
Ms. Overbaugh,
Davis.
Davis seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 17, correct assessment roll Town of Durham, I make LLC tax map ID number 20.00-2-17.1.
Davis.
Dave,
Hobart.
Hobart seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 18, correct assessment roll Town of Prattville, Zion and Lejaya, whatever. Zelensky tax map ID number 75.03-3-9.
Davis.
David,
And Lennon.
Mr. Legg seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Pardon me?
What was that name again?
Who? What'd you say? Are you on my committee? Okay, that's carried. Number 19, authorizing to pay claims on highway.
Hobart.
Mr. Rivera, Mr. Overbaugh,
Hobart.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 20, authorizing to pay, authorization to pay claim.
Hobart.
Mr. Hobart. Anybody else?
Does everybody notice the school and village payments?
Yeah, 8.5.
What?
$10 million.
Yeah, 10.5 million.
That's carried. Now we have, what is a treasury report on. Shame, the treasurer is not here, but we
Did
have.
we say all in
replacement.
favor?
Oh, yeah, we didn't vote on that. We didn't vote on that.
Yeah, the last
We
one.
didn't?
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We
Sorry
don't want
about
that to
that.
come back on Wednesday.
Now we have the treasury report. Now we should keep you up to date, Matt.
Good evening. Our collection of delinquent taxes for the month of March increased. We are also trending upward again for sales tax. The delinquent taxes are close to $1 million higher than they were last year, but that's mainly because we didn't hold an auction in '23. But the auction is scheduled for 9/25. It's going to be an online auction again. So that number should come down. And we are getting payments because everybody's getting notices that we're gonna auction off the property.
School tax and village taxes were paid.
I'm sorry?
School tax,
Yes, I paid them at the end of March.
would that come to approximately?
It was 10.5.
10,500,000.
Yeah. There was a lot of delinquencies that we took in from the villages and the schools.
So that's about $1 million more than it was last year? Okay. Has that been a continuous trend even through
No, it was pretty steady. This is the first year that we've seen such an increase.
a jump up?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Anything about Peter?
He's currently at the Pines. He's receiving rehab. We are going to visit him with anything he has to sign. So and he can't wait to get back to work.
Good deal. Any other question?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Anything else come before?
Motion to close.
I heard that one. We're closed.
Like second.